Hi, welcome to Bipolar Boxing Picks. This is Nick. This Saturday night, we got Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. Fight I've been waiting for years. And this was always the fight when everybody told me about David Benavidez. Is like, I'd like to see him against a guy like Caleb Plant. Actually, Canelo's two of his past couple opponents, Plant or BJ Saunders, I always thought would give a guy like Benavidez trouble just because they're very slick defensively and they're just tough to win rounds against. So if you can't get a knockout, good luck beating them. But so this was one of the fights I've been wanting him to take for years, and I'm not going to change my mind. I've always picked Caleb Plant to beat him. This was before Plant lost to Canelo, but that's Canelo. And yeah, he could literally do the same thing as Canelo did, but he could do it even better because he's bigger. That could happen, and that seems to be the consensus of what I've been listening to for the ever since this fight got announced. Everybody's just like, oh, this is just Benavidez got to get his name, got to get a name, good name on his resume in order to fight Canelo, which I believe that. Like, he should not have got Canelo with that poor resume that he has. I don't care if he has trouble getting fights. Like, you have to have a guy like Plant or whatever. Like, people can hate on Canelo for taking the John Ryder fight. John Ryder's got a better win on his resume than Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Plant, and David Benavidez, in my opinion, with Daniel Jacobs. So there's nothing you can do. But hey, you're here now. So, and this is a big risk to take, like, because now if Benavidez wins here, then hopefully like he'll get Canelo next or whatever. Those are two really tough fights in a row. Those are the two other top guys in the division, other than yourself, that you're going to be fighting back to back. So if you do this, kudos to you. You deserve all the accolades that everybody's been giving you. But I just think it's a terrible matchup for him. I've always saw a guy like Plant being able to beat him, and it's really just that style, that defensive style. I'm going to take over the hard punching Mexican style almost every time they fight. And there might be something that I'm missing here, but I just see Plant outboxing him fairly easy. Benavidez might be able to take some rounds where Plant just doesn't throw enough. Like, Benavidez might, I'm sure he'll throw more punches than Caleb Plant in this fight. And Plant will be on his back foot the whole fight. But I think he's elusive enough to get away from a guy like Benavidez. Like, people don't understand like how good Canelo is at cutting off the ring and the boxing ability that he has compared to, I just don't see a lot in David Benavidez in that. He's got those long arms or whatever, but I just see him, he smothers a lot of his punches when he gets in close. It's been working for him now, and I'm not saying to fix it if it ain't broke, but I don't think that stuff works at this level. And at this level against a guy like Caleb Plant. Because if you put Plant and Ryder at the same level or somewhat close, like, Benavidez would walk through a guy like John Ryder, in my opinion. But just the styles make matchups, and I like the defensive style a lot because those guys are usually very hard to take rounds from and outpoint. And I think Plant was up against Canelo going into the knockout, but I think the judges had it the other way. But I thought he boxed pretty good up until then. It was just kind of like watching that fight. You just knew it was coming, and you might get that sense early here, but I don't know. I don't see Caleb Plant getting caught. Is all I'm going to say, is because everybody that's picking this fight, I'm assuming, is just because everyone seems to be picking Benavidez. But if they pick Benavidez, they're picking him by knockout. Every one of them. It's knockout. Seventh, eighth, ninth round or whatever. My thing is, like, what if that knockout doesn't come? Like, he doesn't have a plan B. I would think it's more probable that Plant knocks Benavidez out than Benavidez wins a decision. So, I mean, really you have to look at, like, Benavidez by knockout or Plant by decision here if you're a betting guy. But just give me Plant by decision, and I think the odds are way off in this fight. I think it should be Benavidez should be the favorite in this fight, especially because he's a knockout artist, and that's what the public's going to bet. So even if it's an inflated line, Benavidez should be the favorite. He's also got the O in his record. So and people are hyped on this guy. Like I've never been that high on him, but there could be something I'm missing. And if he beats Plant tomorrow night, regardless of how he beats him, I will admit that I'm wrong, and I will give him his props. And I can't wait to see him versus Canelo. And I kind of hope he does win this fight because I would rather see him versus Canelo than Plant versus Canelo again, if that's the way they're setting this up here. But I mean, Plant, it's like people are writing him off. He's only 30 years old. He learned a lot from the Canelo fight, just assuming. But this is his other shot to get right back in the mix because there's not a lot of guys there at 168. So, yeah, just give me Plant by decision, and I'm going to say like 9 rounds to 3. That's just how I feel. I think it's going to be that easy for him, and I think it's going to be easy for him early. Those rounds that Benavidez gets, I think, are the rounds that Plant kind of takes off. And I don't think he wins those rounds by a lot. I think Plant will make this a boring fight at times. Every time Benavidez goes in and gets him against the ropes, which I think will happen a lot in this fight. And this is going to be one of the most important things to watch during the fight is how Plant fights off the ropes. And how I think he should fight off the ropes is by not fighting at all and just holding on for dear life. Every time his back touches the ropes, you either need to be moving side to side or you need to go lunge at him and tie up. It's the only thing because sometimes I think Caleb Plant thinks he's with his sweet hands of his he is a real good counter puncher, but like you don't want to do that against Benavidez. Now, not with your back against the ropes. You don't want to sit there, with your shoulder roll and try to land that backhand all the time. Like, you're going to get clipped with something if you do that. He needs to win this fight, boxing on the outside. Benavidez is obviously very long, but Plant's got just as long reach as he does. They're almost about the same height. So, as much as everyone talks about Benavidez like he's a monster, he's not, he's not that much bigger or longer than Caleb Plant is. So, yeah, just give me Plant by decision. Like I said, 9 rounds to 3 I'm going with. So, yeah, everything, the over, Plant by decision, and Plant money line, anything you want to play there, that's my pick. Looking forward to this card. All the undercards are good. There's the last 4 fights on this card are going to be really good, real good fights. Especially that first one, Chris Colbert's coming back. And very interested to see what he's got. If that Hector Luis Garcia fight was a fluke, or if he's actually not that good of a fighter, because this will be 2 losses in a row, and this will be damaging to his career if he loses this fight. So, but yeah, it should be a fun night of boxing. And like I said, either win or lose, props to both of these guys for taking this fight. Because if they didn't, like I said, this division would be an absolute shambles if they didn't. But good luck and enjoy the fights.